Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another H-Powers 4 replay. Spawn on the left side as the Magenta Roost. We have Chrysaor? I have no idea. Spawn on the right side as the Blue Chinese. We have Wam01. I hear some sheeple being collected, and since we do have a Roost player on the field, let's go and switch out and go. Yep, you can see the trade bounties now. Magenta find these forest puppers there, though they may not be collected anytime soon due to the nature of water maps. Some fishing ships there, trying to get the fish and chips. After all, Roost are known for growing potatoes, right? Though actuality, potatoes are not... potatoes actually were discovered in the New World, somewhere in South America, near the northern part. I think Colombia or Venezuela area. So they're actually not native to Europe or Asia. So all those stereotypes of like fish and chips and using potatoes to make vodka, those are recent inventions. Recent within the last 500 years, I should say. Both players are now advanced to the next age. Let's go and slow down a little bit there. We've got the scout, shanking the scout there. And I was not paying attention there. We've got the junk archer ship engage the lord.agion. Got archer ship versus archer ship. May get some quick repairs onto that archer ship. Take a bit of beating there. And not a whole lot of trade bounty there. Roost player only has 100 trade bounties, but then again, the improved food collection rate for villagers is not going to be useful for the Loidas. We now have these, all of his Loidas have been converted to ships. He's gone aggressive with that. He needs a spring gold ship. We have a spring gold ship to play on the field, but now we've got a fire ship here as well. That spring gold ship needs it back on off. The arrow ship finds a good volley, takes out the fire ship. Now spring gold ship should be able to use arrow ships there. I've got more Loida fishing ships here. Another fire ship deploying field, but that's the spring gold ship. Arrow ship is still getting some health regen aura. There'll be a nasty engagement out at sea. Do not the scout. Blue does take out Magenta scout, which does mean he will not get any more trade bounty anytime soon because he's not deployed out any additional scouts at the moment. Well, he's had none on the field. I'm not sure how many he has deployed on the field. Do now have 2 fishing docks now deployed on the field. The Roost player already has 2 fishing docks going for a pair of Loida ships. Spring gold fire ship does not connect there. Got another spring gold ship here. Magenta needs to pull out more spring gold ships. He's going for more spring gold ships now. And as well as a fire ship. The fire ship, that's a fishing ship there. The fire ship's now in the build queue. Fire ships do cut quick or pull it out quickly. He needs to get these guys in the docks. Let's get some good hits there. Got 2 spring gold ships there. Now the fire ships advancing forward. Arrow ships now engaging, gets a volley there, but it will connecting at one of the spring gold ships there. Now he has his own spring gold ship there, and these ships are quite wounded. Blue does not have a lot of fishing ships on the field at the moment. Doesn't take time to repair that one up. That ship does go down. The spring gold ship is a bit damaged there. Another fire ship advancing forward. The spring gold ship, and they're both spring gold ships. No arrow ships at the moment. It hits the higher health one. It can't withstand. Let's use the faster movement speed there, reducing the maximum damage. This one will connect, taking out that spring gold ship there. Didn't minimize damage there. Does get another spring gold ship. He needs some arrow ships. Doesn't have any stone for defensive arrows there. Trying to repair up this ship there. Does save it. Fishing ships had to take a bit of beating there, but the health regen aura will be affected multiplicatively. Does have an arrow ship now deployed on the field. Fire ship now deployed out as well. Arrow ship needs to start hitting that fire ship. It's going to be a little bit too late. Does come directly there and save the spring gold ships. Spring gold ships now engaging the spring gold ship. Now we've got a Chinese fire ship. Get some good hits there. And the Roost ships are quite battered. He's going to take time to repair them up. He has no fishing ships in the field. So right now the Chinese player has more civilians out. Well, he has 1 fishing ship. Let's see. No additional talents at the moment. He does have the Kremlin. It'll be stacking up charges, that's for sure. So he doesn't have to worry about defense all too much on land for the time being. Unless his opponent really sends a serious force. These are both Springald ships there. This is his arrow ship, both damaged. He does have a fire ship here. These are Springald ships, sometimes pretty hard to tell the Roost ships apart. In fact, the arrow ships and the Springald ships are only slightly different. You got these little extra holes, as opposed like wooden little shacks, as opposed to these batting on the mast. I don't know what to call that. And it's easy to tell the fire ships because they're glowing. They're on fire. More fire ships there. Let's get a good follow there. There's 3 fire ships deployed on the field. Does have a single arrow ship here. Does take out 1. His fire ship does see quite a bit of damage there. There's another fire ship. The last one's trying to connect. These guys are also wounded. Does get some good damage there. Fishing ships are severely damaged. The health regen aura is going to keep them going. And stops it there. Is there a defensive arrow replacement that I see? Nope. Just good shot there from that Springald ship. I guess more damage there. More fire ships being put on the field. Just trying to throw more fire ships. He's good health regen. Getting blocked by the fishing ships. He may connect big time there, losing some of all of his fishing ships. He no longer has repairs there. Now the other side has fishing ships. Now it just all comes down to sea battle. We now have another fire ship facing forward. Does connect, takes another Springald ship there. These Springald ships also damaged. Got a fire ship here. Got the Chinese fire ship facing forward. Connects the Springald ships, taking them both out as well. Both sides' navies are destroyed. Got more fire ships for the Chinese player. Another Springald and fire ship for the Rus. These Springald ships, should have left that one at home, get help. He does have 1 fishing ship here. More fire ships. That one does connect. That's going to be a bit overkill on this fire ship there. Does take that one out. It's good volley there. Wow, that thing's firing really fast. Wait. Oh, wait, wasn't the aeroship? So he's converted it. He's doing a lot of conversions between fishing and, well, not between aeroships and Springald ships. I guess this is relatively cheap potential. There's an archer ship there. Huh, interesting. Wait, was this some sort of tech where you swapped between ships in order to get faster arrow firing rate? That is, that's a little bit exploity. Does that seem like it's firing far too quickly? It's also probably a bit expensive as well. Fire ship does get detonated there. Got these attack ships pushing way forward. Another fire ship there trying to pursue these ships. More fire ships deployed on the field. The Chinese player just maybe get out some more arrow ships currently. I think people don't get enough arrow ships, honestly. And connects. Keeps both of these Springald ships alive. Let's see if that Springald, both of them goes down. Both these Springald ships need to go back to port, get some health regen. We got a 3rd dock here. Got some militia deployed on the field. Maybe trying to hit that scout. More fire ships there. You know as well, airoships do benefit from arrow upgrades from the blacksmith. Does do a nice split there. Does take out 1 of the Springalds. And now you got another arrow ship here. And the arrow ships, if you get them upgrade damage, that does actually give you quite a bit of extra damage there to deal with various ships. These some of these ships do have pierce armor inherently, but Springald ships do have 3 pierce armor, so it takes a lot less damage from arrows. But having arrow ship getting from 6 damage to 7 damage, those add up quite a bit. Let's take out the fire ship there. Oh. Good hits there, trying to pursue the arrow ship. The Springald ship is severely damaged. Let's take out 1 of the Springald ships there. All I'm thinking since I'm playing Mongols is, think how much resources either player could get if they had piracy. It's relatively, don't get much resources, but getting additional 25 gold and wood from just simply killing your opponent's ship like you usually want to do is good. Oh boy, there's actually quite a bit of inefficiency right there. Got a lumber camp here, or a hunting camp in there, providing some extra gold generation. The Navy has quieted down a bit. We've got 2 arrow ships, 2 spring gold ships, 1 fire ship versus 2 arrow ships, 2 fire ships, and 2 spring gold ships. So very similar composition. No additional naval production at the moment as well, and no fishing ships. So neither side has really gained much advantage. Suppose we can cover what's unique about each player's Navy right now. The adaptable hulls. Converting between hulls is 50% faster and no longer has a cost penalty. But of course, this is Castle Age. And over here, we've got the Thunderclap bombs, warships fire, Nested Bees attack. But that is only referring to the final ship, the Bio-Chun. I don't know how to describe that. I'm horrible pronouncing any sort of name. There's also survival techniques researched by Blue. Blue's actually has to play out second town center, very nice. While Magenta has not. So he has a second town center to go on field. He may want to be a bit more defensive here. We've got a handful of fishing ships here, just 2. He has 4 docks as well. So if Magenta's able to claim the seas, he will have a good amount of production rate for producing fishing ships. Of course, okay, take a lot of wood, and he does have the Kremlin here to provide that improved wood drop-off as well. The Rus are especially adaptable for naval combat, with the Kremlin landmark being very good on this map, good for defense, and providing that massive benefit of 20% more wood drop-off. That's absurd on naval maps. As well as later on, if you ever need to get out farmers, you got a permanent supply of good collection of food with the trade bounties. Though he doesn't actually have a much trade bounty at the moment now, does he? And fishing ships do provide a great amount of food, but they do have diminishing returns. Right now, the Rus has a massive navy deploying field. Blue does not have a massive navy at the moment. Trying to go for fishing ships himself. Let's take out some of these fire ships. That one will connect severely bad. And I got these fire ships moving on in as well, and will connect as well. Taking out more spring ships there, and it looks like Blue has lost this sea. He does have a second town center, so he's not completely down the water. We do have extra defensive arrow placements here, which apparently fires arrows and not do something special being Chinese pan-cannoneers. They could just call like arquebus. Another fire ship does go down, so Blue has a good defensive line, has a handful of fishing ships to get some income coming on in. His opponent's eyeing for more fire ships, but not pulling out any more navy, eyeing for more fishing ships. The fish must flow into people's stomachs. Now I've got a line of defensive arrow slits here for the Magenta player. So it looks like both players are starting to turtle down. Without the dragon turtle nearby. For all that's no longer available. And for those who are wondering how they can reclaim the sea when their opponent's patrolling have patrolling boats in the area, Springalds. The Springald siege weapon does bonus damage versus ships. Good, it's there. We've got a fire ship advancing forward. Does take out one of the Springalds there. Blue's fire ship does get some splash damage. So that's been another Springalds there. More fire ships being put on the field. It's going to be a bit difficult to stop that fire ship, but it's getting brought up severely bad. Does fire volley there on the fire ship there, but it's going to take a lot of damage because of that. Does take out Blue's fire ship there. And this one will connect. Oh, look at that damage. Large number of these ships are wounded. He needs to fall back, follow them, save them. A little bit overkill on some of these wounded fire ships. Fire ships are taking out each other out. This fire ship will connect. Does take out one of the Springald ships there. Or more hits there. A large number of Springald ships are going down. Has some arrow ships in the mix on in. Does connect there. Takes out the villager as well. Also the defensive arrow placement here. This one looks like maybe just out of range. That's actually not upgraded. It's good damage there. More fire ships being employed on the field. They could use the fire ships and engage the fire ships, and that's a great combination. It needs to go for defensive arrow ships. Does take out that dock there. Does have a handful of fishing ships here. Might as well get them collecting. If you lose the docks, they're not going to be useful either way. Does an arrow ship here. And does got that one. Now going for arrow slit over here. Looks like that Imperial officials trying to collect up some taxable income there, and got the astronomical clock tower being put on field. Blue does have superior number of villagers, but is also a little bit misleading since there's also loader ships are twice as good, more than twice as good, but cost twice as much. So since it's 4 of these, assume there's +4 at all times to that number up there. Now I do got Castle Age for the Chinese player. He may want to eye a siege no, he has a siege workshop, it's a Clash clock tower. Deploy also defensive spring galls along the shorelines, very useful. Spring galls also have 10 range, which is farther than even spring gold ships, which is what, only 6 range? It's actually pretty small. Yeah, 6 range. Now got the high trade tower being put on field. That is a good spot there. Maybe putting a little bit farther up here if possible would be better, but this should net him about 120 gold per minute. I think that's a big way of militia. We got 26 militia now trying to advance them forward, trying to get any sort of damage on in. Aeroships can do a lot of damage to them. Aeroships are like mangonels that do AoE damage, so if you have trouble defending your docks against spearmen and archers, aeroships are your best bet. And here comes the torches. That is a wounded dock air as well. These villagers could try repairing it up. See here, those militia are taking a lot of damage there, but they will torch down that dock in time. There's an arrow placement here. Got some aeroships engaging. They're hitting the militia. Aeroships do not receive bonus damage from those fire ships. Fire ships do plus 30% damage versus quote-unquote broadside. And there goes the militia. All died from dysentery. Aeroships getting some good hits there on these fishing ships. Spring Gull's engaging. Of course, got a good line of defensive arrows here. He can perhaps get the adaptable hulls now. Got a Spring Gull defensive placement somewhere, and then probably just on the Kremlin. Nope. Don't know where that Spring Gull defensive placement going for the Roost player is. Got a knight here. Villagers advancing on forward. Will be spotted. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. I think he's trying to pull out a forward. Oh, there's the forward keep. These villagers are going to be ripped apart. That's going to squander Blue's advantage of having the second town center. Oh boy, he needs to retask these guys. He has a good wood deposit back here, so he needs to retask them over there. There's also a good amount of random trees here. And these villages will be hacked apart. We got 4 Spring Gold ships, 2 arrow ships here. No arrow damage from either player, which means no additional damage from arrow ships. And now we got a keep here being pulled up next to the sacred site there. So Blue could actually eye getting out some monks for a sacred site capture there to get some extra gold income. And it looks like I've got the improved hulls now researched for both sides, increasing the health and pierce armor. Got now some defensive arrows not firing on in. And these Spring Gulls are just charging forward. Blue's losing his ground army or naval army. Do not have the Spring fire ship there. Does not connect on multiple fire ships here. This one could eat those fire ships. Would actually be good for Pink if he has some sacks 1 Spring Gull ship there. Focusing them down pretty good. We don't have the increased damage output here. We do have the increased attack speed from the Spring Gulls as well. To give you precisely what it does, +1 range, plus 20% attack faster. And Blue is starting to lose the Navy. You guys have a good number of defensive spearmen here. They're only hardened spearmen, not veteran spearmen, but enough to hit those knights. They did lose some villagers there. Blue has less villagers at the moment, and so with those Lord of Fishing ships, it's probably relatively even now. Got fire ships trying to defend, not being properly tasked. They're being focused down. He has a good number of defensive arrow slits here, but one of these ones are set ablaze. Turn for the dock now, and does lose dock. Blue's now eyeing for a ground army game. He needs, if he wants to engage the sea, like I mentioned beforehand, he needs to get some spring golds. Luckily, he has an astronomical clock tower variant he can utilize. In advance forward, they are Venom Spearmen now. Find some pokes there on these villagers. And that dock does go down. Blue has lost the sea. We've got Guardian of the Sun now being put on field. He could have pulled out a long time ago to provide some fire support. Though his range is not that great, but still put some holes into these ships. Yep, plus 25 damage versus ships. Militia charging forward. They will be gunned down. I feel like this keeps firing faster than it normally does. Huh. Oh, seriously, why is that this keep? It feels like it's firing far faster than it should. Maybe it got buffed in the recent patch. Blue has now less civilians than his opponent, thanks to his opponent now mass producing these ships. And since they don't have to worry about dropping off, these things are incredibly good at fishing. And so, regardless of where they're at, you will get a massive amount of food reserve. Unlike other civilizations, they won't receive a diminishing return effect because of that. Now I got the high armory now being pulled on the field. He's eyeing for a bit of siege warfare now. Same with this gold. This gold's been cleaned up as well. And, ooh, Magenta's gold down here is a little bit exposed, so he will need to pull out some spring golds to deal with that. Does have some clock tower nest of bees. You got an eye for the sticker site there as well. I'm sort of surprised he didn't go for monks and get out some pagodas to put those relics inside of. Has he retasked these villagers a bit better in wood? Are they still running around significantly? I think they're still running. How many guys do he have in wood? He does have 23 somewhere. Not sure where though. Oh, there they are. High armory is almost complete. The Chinese player could try to go for the Great Gatehouse in order to protect this central choke point. Most people don't want to take time with landing ships, so it is safe to just focus on defenses here, but the high armory will allow them to access cheaper siege weapons. If you don't know, decreases the cost of nearby siege workshops by 20% and contains unique siege technologies. Let's see, is this one in range? Yep. Now I've got some relics being claimed by the Roost player. He will have relic number 3 claimed. I think that Blue not going for relics is a bit of an oversight. Last 2 remaining relics, that one is from Spirit Domain. This one is preventable, not necessarily contestable, but preventable. We do got a spring golden placement in the Bardic of the Sun, very nice. Going for some stone walls there, preventing stone landings. And also, he really should eye getting some spring golds out of here. This stone and a gold deposit, both large. He needs to make sure those get claimed. You now see some clock tower nested bees there, very good. Nest bees, or not nest bees, spring golds. Nest bees trying to push out to sea. That's not a good idea. They do go save ships, of course, but they're avoidable. And they don't do enough damage, in my opinion, to be direct counter. Just use spring golds. You can just send Spring Golds, A move them along the sea, and they will do well versus ships. Oh, there goes that warrior monk. You have now some bombards being pulled out on field. Very nice. Spring Gold will also help out with that as well. Huh, he could go for the Great Gatehouse over here. Not really that great though, if he pulls it out right there. He does have enough resources to go for the Great Gatehouse. He may be eyeing for the Great Gatehouse somewhere far the Spirit Way. I'm not sure where he's going to go. Going for line of stone walls there. There's a Great Gatehouse. That'll provide some good coverage, even as well on the Sacred Site. They keep now receiving massive amounts of fire. It will buy him some time to get the Great Gatehouse. He needs to take some of these villagers going. He can't really go on the far side. That's one of the Great Gatehouse. It is really hard to actually build it because there's not a lot of surface area to build it. Now got these elite knights advancing forward. They will spot the Great Gatehouse. The spearmen and man-at-arms, or all this force needs to start pushing forward. Let's get a great damage there. There's a good number of villagers here. We'll start hitting everything. And the Great Gatehouse has completed. Now it's massive bees in place. We'll get some great damage from these elite knights. Spearmen are trying to engage. He does have biology and bonus fortitude, so these guys are very, very durable. Those are just getting overwhelmed. He doesn't have some elite arm attacks to encounter or the elite spearman research. Great Gatehouse immediately goes down, and now these elite knights will advance forward, and he does back up the game now. This ends Grid saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.